Number 3, take some work. But this is good practice because we need to be able to convert back and forth between those different units. We have to go back and forth between fractions, decimals, and percents a lot. So to help show your work easier, so I'm not sliding back and forth, I'm going to do it on sticky notes. So first, we've got a fraction, 1/9 that we need to turn into a decimal, and a percent. So how do we go from a fraction to a decimal? We divide. So I need to do 1 divided by 9. I'm going to pause the video so I can do this real quick for you guys, and then you can come back and check to see how you did. So whenever your denominator is going to be a 9, whenever your denominator is 9, that numerator is going to be actually what repeats. So 1/9 is 0.111111. 2/9 is 0.2222222. 3/9 is 0.333333. 4/9 is 0.444444. Check in the calculator if you don't believe me. So 1/9 is a repeating decimal, 0.1 with a line on top, or 0.111 with some dots behind it. So that means if we have this as a decimal, to turn it into a percent, we move it to the right 2 times. It should become 11.1 repeating percent, or maybe you would round it to just 11%. Always either look to see what the instructions are if they want you to round or how they want you to do the repeating in there. Our next problem, we have a decimal that we need to turn into a fraction and into a percent. $2.2. Let's start off with turning the decimal into a percent. How do I go from a decimal to a percent again? I move my decimal to the right 2 times. So if we have 2.2 and I move my decimal to the right 2 times, what goes in this blank is 0. This becomes 220%. Easy enough. And now we have to go from a decimal to a fraction. Decimal to a fraction, we look at place value. Decimal to a fraction, we look at place value. So we have 2.2. What place value is that 2 in? That's in the tenths place value. So that means our denominator is going to be 10. That means my number is going to be 10. The number without the decimal is going to be my numerator. So we'd have 22 over 10. Or if this was a mixed number, it would be 2 and 2 over 10. It just depends if they're looking for the fraction or the mixed number. So again, you're going to want to look to see instructions. 2 and 2 tenths. I want to make sure I can simplify my fraction. 22 over 10, I want to simplify my fraction. Let's start with 22 over 10. Those can both be divided by 2. And that would give me 11/5. Or if we do the mixed number, 2 and 10, divide those both by 2, we get 1/5. So this could also be 2 and 1/5. Again, depending on if they're looking for a fraction or a mixed number. Again, that's an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Next problem. We've got a percent that we have to go back to a decimal and then back to a fraction. I'm actually going to start with the percent to the fraction. What did we say percent means? Percent means for each 100. So I can take my percent and put it as my numerator, and my denominator would be 100. So I get 12 over 100 for my fraction. But I need to simplify. 4 goes into both of these. That's the biggest number that goes into both of them. If you choose to do 2, that works just fine. You'll just have to do it in 2 steps instead of 1. But it should simplify to 3 over 25. Again, on our minor summative, we were not taking off points if you forgot to simplify, but we will be taking off points on this major summative if you do not. The state test, you have to simplify, so we need to have that skill. And then to go from the percent to the decimal, we go the opposite direction. Move our decimal to the left, like Beyonce tells us to do. So we had 12%. I want to get away from the percent sign, so I want to move my decimal away from the percent. So this becomes 0.12 for my decimal. 0.12. And last, we have a picture that we want to turn into a decimal. We've already got the percent that's rounded. So what would this fraction be here? 2 out of 3, because there's 2 things shaded out of 3 total pieces. Remember, we talked before, whenever the denominator is a 3, it's going to repeat. That's why 9's repeat, because it's a product of 3. 2/3, if I want to divide that out, what number keeps repeating when we do 2/3? 3 goes into 26 times. This 6 just keeps repeating. So this is 0.6 repeating that way, or 0.66 with some dots after it to show that it's repeating. Going back and forth between these different types of numbers is the heart and soul of what this unit is. Being able to go back and forth, these skills are huge.